Hello and welcome back to Theme Park Fantastic. Today we're going to be ranking the top 30 roller coasters in the UK. In 30th is Accelerator at Drayton Manor. The world's first boomerang coaster. And it's very smooth, very slow and very boring. But I still think it deserves 30th. Anyway, next is Flight of the Pterosaur in Paultons Park. This is the only one that's in Paultons Park on this list, being as this is my first ever roller coaster I ever went on. I need to rank it in my top 30. Not to mention I forgot Hero in this list. I probably put it about first. Next is Vampire at Chessington, and I mean, it's quite slow. I like how you go through the woods. It would be cool if it had an inversion. Like, all of this is like helixes and just straight curves. Helixes, yeah, all that. Next is Dragon's Fury, also at Chessington. It's a clone of Spimble Whizzer, but it's better than Spimble Whizzer because Spimble Whizzer hurts sometimes. Dragon's Fury is good, but it's a bit copyright, so I'm just going to have to put it quite low on my list. Anyway, next is Sword of Ride. This is the lowest inversion thing, coaster, whatever you want to call it, on my list because it hurts on the front row's fine. Yeah, the front row's fine, but the back row, it just hurts. And anyway, moving on, and next is Infusion at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It hurts more than Saw, but I find it more enjoyable. Like, it's really good-ish. Anyway, next is Nickelodeon Streak. A great roller coaster for the families, and is very, very, very smooth, apart from the little bit of jolt on the lift hill. Apart from that, it's very smooth, and that's basically it. It's quite slow. Blackpool just needs an RMC. That's all they need. And anyway, moving on to Steeplechase. I love this more than anyone else seems to, I swear. Especially my favourite's the red one. Second is the yellow one, but I don't really like the green one. The green one's really boring for me. But anyway, it's quite intense. It's very slow, and yeah. It's a bit like George's Dinosaur Adventure at Paultons Park, just a little bit better. A lot better, sorry. Moving on. Revolution. The way it goes forwards is great. The way it goes backwards is great, but it's quite rough when it goes backwards on the loop. It's very rough. So it would be better if they just made it just go forwards and then connect, or maybe have another dip, and yeah. Anyway, next is Rita, Queen of Speed. This is actually better than most people say. It's like 60 miles per hour. It's not the fastest ride in the park, even though it's a launch coaster. It only reaches 100 kilometers per hour, and it dies out a bit towards the end. The lift hill, the brake is longer than Oblivion's. You need to be honest. Anyway, moving on to Velocity. This is one of the weakest roller coasters in Flamingo Land, but it's still very good. So anyway, moving on, and it's the Ultimate at Lightwater Valley. This is the longest roller coaster in the UK, and being as it's a wooden roller coaster, it's very it's got very steep drops, but the second half hurts, and also the lift hills are about an eternity long each. So, moving on to Mumbo Jumbo. Stole the record of Soar about 2 minutes after Soar opened for the world's steepest drop. Yeah. The inversions aren't the best. The drop is probably the best bit. But still, it's a really good ride. I really enjoy it. Moving on, and next is Kumali. This is probably the second best suspended coaster I've ever ridden. The very fast, probably the second best roller coaster in Flamingo Land. Not quite good enough to beat Hero, unfortunately. And yeah, yeah. And anyway, being as Hero would be first because I love Heroes. Moving on, and next is Oblivion, the world's first vertical drop roller coaster, faster than Rita, and it's a very short ride, and yeah. Anyway, moving on to Odyssey, the best suspended roller coaster in the world for me, being as it's the tallest, 5th tallest roller coaster in the UK, and wow, Odyssey is amazing-ish. Anyway, moving on to Nemesis Inferno, the Nemesis that's not as good as the other Nemesis. The tracks are a lot better. The queues are normally longer because Nemesis has 8 cars and Nemesis Inferno is 7. And yeah, a lot of people are preferring Nemesis Inferno to Nemesis, but no, not for me. Anyway, moving on. In 13th place, we have 13. I'm not doing this on purpose. I actually like 13 that much to put it in the 13th place. This may be a bit of a spoiler, so soz. Yeah, you can clearly see that it has a indoor drop section. But anyway, soz. Moving on, into 12th place, we have Avalanche. It's a great bobsleigh coaster. If it had an inversion, then it would be better. But, you know, it would be like first if it had an inversion. But, yeah. It's one of my favourite roller coasters in Blackpool, being as it's the first bobsleigh roller coaster on Earth, and it's slow. Yeah. Moving on to 11th place, Colossus at Thorpe Park. This is only a tiny bit better than Nemesis Inferno in my opinion, but Colossus, you know, the loops are okay. If you're sitting towards the front, then it doesn't hurt as much, apart from the end of the first drop. But yeah, moving on to 10th place, top 10, and Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I don't really like Icon compared to most people, but at least I like it more than Screwy Loops. So, yeah. So, moving on to 9th place, and that's Wicker Man. 8th place, sorry, this is 8th. Yeah, it's 8th place. It's 8th place. Yeah. It's Wicker Man, the ride. Yeah. It's good, but it's not the best wooden roller coaster out there, in my opinion, in the UK. One that can beat it. Anyway, moving on is Megaphobia at Oakwood, my favourite wooden roller coaster in the world. Being as I haven't been on RMCs. Yeah, I'm not tall enough, unfortunately. So, Megaphobia is a ride, and yeah. So, moving on, and we have Speed No Limits. You go up and you go down and you do the okey dokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. Yeah, so anyway, Galactica in 6th place. I like Galactica. So, I still think it was better when it had the VR headsets. Don't shoot me. Just don't. It's okay. And, yeah. The Holy Grail of coasters. And the one that I've forgotten to put, even though I put it in first place, like this one, of course. You know I love this one. Psych. Anyway, 5th place is the Smiler at Alton Towers. It's better than I expected when I first ridden it. Yeah. It encourages you to smile, aka scream. And yeah. 4th place, Stealth at Thorpe Park. It's a good ride, and it's totally for the faint-hearted. Yeah, it launches to 80 miles per hour in 2.5 seconds, something like that. Once I went on Stealth, and yeah, I just went on it. And it wasn't as fast as normal. It didn't feel as fast as normal, at least. So, yeah. Anyway, 3rd place, The Swarm, Take a Flight into Hell. Themed around aliens. Yeah. Yeah. Steam Piranha Dudes. Anyway, second place. The big one. And it's very, like, intense. And has a G-force of 6.3. Like, it's very high G-force. Anyway, in first place, of course, Nemesis. Second place, but, I forgot Hero. Yeah. Yeah.